parks, schools, restaurants, and more, Assembly Row gets high scores. We're a thriving city with so much to do. On Boston Harbor, in our view. Politics, cannabis, controversial stories, heroes, villains. Who gets the glory? 50 plus languages in Somerville is spoken. Sanctuary city, there are no free tokens. History in Somerville stays alive. In All American City, we won 3 times. Somerville connects. Somerville connects.
Welcome to another edition of Somerville Connects and Dead Air Live, the longest live running TV show in America. Welcome, Michele Julian.
I am so excited to be here, JoJo. I am so happy that you invited me to this amazing TV show.
Well, Michele, I want to tell our audience a little bit about you. You are a coach, a consultant, a writer, a speaker, an energy worker, gifted guide to thousands of people across the universe, and you have 2 decades of experience. Did I say it all?
Yes, you did. Can I just give you a virtual hug?
Yes, a virtual hug. Woo! Yes, thank you. You look lovely today. It's so nice to have you.
I am so happy to be here. What a glorious, glorious day. It's actually 80 degrees here in
I know.
Massachusetts.
It's crazy. We're in summertime. I actually feel hot, which is great. I love the heat. Love it. So let's talk about you. Who is Michele Julian? Tell us about you. Take us on a little trip, because I don't know a whole lot about you. Viewers and listeners don't know a whole lot about you. So share with us who you are, how you have arrived at this time in your life to where you are.
Wonderful. I would love to share my story. I started out in physical education, exercise science, sports medicine. I got my degree in that and was a gym teacher for a very short period of time. And I really love just being with kids. And so I was trying to figure out, like, where did I want to work with my career? And I picked really physical education to actually go to school and be able to exercise with kids. Seemed like a lot of fun. And I was a single parent. So it was going to be a perfect thing for me to do, to actually be at school and have all the time off with the school breaks, and that way I could be with my daughter more. So I started out with that, and it ended up to be a very short-lived experience, because I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, that was in the 80s, they actually were removing physical education from schools. And I was one of those people that just recently graduated, and they said, we're gonna have to lay off the phys ed teachers that just got hired. So I only had this job for like maybe 6 months.
Oh, that is not good. Now, how old were the kids that you were doing physical education with?
This was grade school. So 1 through I think it was 1 through 5 or something like that.
Oh, that's a perfect age. They're very moldable and they listen.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're fun. They're really fun.
Yeah.
So I started out with that and had, a really short-lived experience as a phys ed teacher.
Right.
Which was really kind of a bummer, because that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be with my daughter, because I was a single parent, and I really felt that it was important for me to actually have that time with her, because I know that it was going to be short-lived.
Sure.
And that's why I really wanted to be a phys ed teacher. And not only that, like I said, I love the body. I myself personally, I've always been a runner and a biker, and I took ballet and tap and jazz growing up. So I knew like how it felt to be in my body and how that would feel empowering to me. So I thought, wow, what a perfect, job. But it didn't work out. I got laid off. And so I had to pivot. And I really felt that what would be something that would be exciting for me to do, be able to support my daughter, something that I was passionate about, what could I do? And my dad just looked at me, and at the time, I just remember having the conversation with him. He looked at me, he says, sometimes you can't have your passion as your job. Sometimes, your job is just the place where you make money, and then you can do your passion outside of your job.
Okay, wow. That's thrown me off a little bit, because you are very passionate about what you do and you're making money.
I know. So, but my dad was worried about me because here I was, a single parent, I got laid off, and, I had my, degree in physical education, exercise science, and he really wanted me to be realistic, because, that's the way parents think. They think you gotta be realistic.
Yeah, parents are also thinking, I don't want to have to support you and your child, so you better go out and, you should be able to support yourself, which is
Right.
what I'm reading in between the lines here.
Yeah, I think he wanted, I don't think he was worried about supporting me. It was more that he wanted me to see the world that, yes, my dad, he had his own business, right? My mom, she worked, but my dad had his own business. And so he knew that he was my model, right? So he wanted me to know that yes, he had his own business. Yes, he supported a family, and yes, he was successful, but sometimes you have to pivot. And so I took his advice, and I actually started working for a couple of different sales companies, and it turned out to work out fine, because then I could move out of my house, my parents' house, and I was making really good money, and I ended up being top salesperson for the job. Basically any job that I took, I was top salesperson.
That's because of your voice. You have a great voice. You have a voice that commands people. I think I said this to you. You have a voice that lulls people in.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that compliment. I love your voice too.
Thank you. You could probably, if you wanted to, you could probably read books on tapes, or do something where you do like subliminal stuff that people listen to you, and you would do very well.
Oh, I like that idea. I'm glad we're recording this, because I know you're going to have some major downloads of the things that I'm going to be able to do. And my dad's looking up from heaven saying, oh boy, she's definitely an Italian girl. I can feel her energy.
Yeah.
Your dad would love you, and you know what he'd want to do? He'd want to hug you.
Oh, I love hugging. Yes, I love hugging people. This virtual hugging's killing me. That's the only thing about the pandemic I don't like. Everything else I can live with, but not hugging people. I just want to go up and hug people. So I'll give your dad a virtual hug in heaven.
Thank you. He's feeling it. He's feeling it right now. My dad, he was my hero. He was my mentor. He was my guide. He was my teacher. And that's why I actually created the Julian Method.
What is the Julian Method? I know it's your name, but what is it?
The Julian Method is, and it's really kind of simple. So people think, okay, it's the method to your unmadness.
Is this like slowing everything down or
Exactly.
keeping in pace with the rhythm of life?
Yes, exactly. You know, there's lots of things to do, and there's a lot of things that you need to get done every day, all day long. But, and are you being in the present moment with these things is the question. So what I do as your guide is I just help you tap into your own madness of your mind and embrace the beautiful, messy, and the complicated. That's what the Julian Method is in a nutshell.
Wow. So, how are you able to tap into someone's mind if it's chaotic? And I'm going to look at the mind as a computer that has too many programs that are open. And you're probably doing something to declutter the mind or put things in their rightful place. Is that sort of what you're doing?
Actually, it's the opposite of what you just said. We're constantly doing what you just said, right? Is organizing, processing, thinking, trying to make everything flow. And it's that pushing and pulling and striving energy. It's the conceptual mind. We need the conceptual mind to function. But what we also need is a space in between the conceptual mind and intuition. And
I'm a little bit lost, but that's okay. Keep talking because maybe I'll, because this is the first time I'm being introduced to your Julian Method as well as many people.
I know, I love it. I love your patience. I love your openness. And that's one thing I think is your gifts. Is you're open, you're curious, and you love to learn. And you love to empower other people. You're like all those things and more. You're like, I think the way I see you, you're like a flower.
Oh.
And you're always growing. Right? And there's tree branches coming from the flower even with you. And that's really because you're in your power, you're in your passion, you're doing the thing that you like to do. And even though you're doing all of that, you don't really ever get burnt out. Why don't you get burnt out?
I don't.
No, you don't get burnt out. And the reason why you don't get burnt out is because, this is my assessment, I don't even really know you that well, is you are in your present moment. You are experiencing your moment to moment. That is why you're a master of time.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Because last night I was editing and I said, I love to edit because I'm creating. When I create, I am as good as I can possibly be. I have reached my full potential.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way to put it, or I'm a spark of soul. I feel like I'm connected to the divine source as good as I can be because I'm doing all that I can be.
You are doing God's higher power work, whatever you want to call it, the angels of God, the higher power work. And I believe your mother is your channeler.
Okay, yeah, you've got that right.
Okay, so that's what the Julian Method is. I can see things that you just are doing all the time, but you are not really 100% always aware of what's actually happening. So what I do is I shine the light with the method of me talking to you and you talking to me, and then we unfold all of this inner knowing, which then raises that vibration to the point that you are now even more you, right? The inner knowing of you is just, oh my God, I want more of JoJo.
Do you physically see energy when you're around people? Is this something you see, or is it something that you feel?
It's more of a feeling. The sensation in my body actually happens in my heart and in my gut. It like literally comes like right here, and I go, and it's like a messenger, like boom, right here. And I feel it in the body. And what happens sometimes, literally my whole lower back will go really like contract, almost like I'm doing an exercise. I'm feeling your energy and I'm doing an exercise. That's why I'm like in shape. I have really strong core. My husband's always amazed at my core because I'm 61 and
You're a baby. You're a beautiful baby.
Thank you. I'm really strong. And I remember my mother always saying that she was so amazed how strong I was. And I said, it's because of my work, Mom. I stand when I'm healing. And right now I'm sitting, but I've been doing more sitting just because I feel like when I'm not moving and standing, I start to feel contracted. So I'm mixing it up with sitting and standing now. But what I really try to be aware of is my own energy and how I am co-creating with you as we speak. Right now, I'm doing
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you were born with an intuitive gift.
Yes.
Where you could tune into other people's energy, which makes you an energy healer.
Yes. And it also makes me an empath, which is good, and it can be dangerous because I can get wiped out as if someone, sometimes my husband and I, we joke, we go, do you feel like you just ran a marathon? And I'd be like, yeah, I do today. I definitely feel like that. Because what happens is you're constantly taking in the energy and receiving it to fill you up, but you're also slowly getting depleted on some level. So there's got to be that spot, that sweet spot. We call that the middle way. The sweet spot is knowing that work-life balance and how you can take that balance and really allow more space in your everyday routine. And I think we've had these conversations briefly. I haven't talked to you that much, but you go for a walk every morning.
I do. I move every day around 40 to 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Sometimes up to an hour. I have to. And it plugs me in. I have to move. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sitting down a good part of my day. I'm doing a lot of editing, or I'm on the phone talking to people, and it could be a drain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's good to move, right?
Yeah. So you move your body. And I also think that with your work, because you're in your Zen, you are meditating as you're working.
I do. I said to one of my friends, I'm a very quiet person when I'm alone. And she said to me, everyone's quiet when they're alone. And I went, well, not necessarily, but I actually, when I edit, I kind of go into a trance. And I think that's what you're talking about. And sometimes hours will go by and I went, oh, 4 hours just went by. When did that happen?
Right.
Which is a good thing. I think that's a great thing.
It's a fantastic thing, because that means that for those 4 hours, you were present in the moment and you were receiving whatever it is that you needed to receive, so you can do your creativity you're so creative, right? That's why you do what you do. You have so much creativity and you're very focused and where that creativity goes. And I think that's, really your superpower. And I feel like for me, my superpower is for me to be your mirror and for me to be your witness of your greatness. And I just reflect that back to you. And I really think sometimes people don't know because they're in their own world how amazing they are.
It's funny that you say that, because I was walking today and I'm saying I could be so much more. I could be so much more. I'm always listening to Audible, inspirational quotes, inspirational books, people that have been high achievers. I'm always learning. I'm saying, what can I learn? I want to learn. I want to learn. I want to download everything on the planet. I wish I could just like plug in and go bzzz, and just download everything, but it doesn't quite work like that.
No. You are always going to aspire to always know more and be more. That's why you're amazing. You're magnificent. I can't even say the word. That's why I didn't
Magnificent.
say it.
Is that a word? Is that a real word, or is that your word?
I make up words all the time.
That's a great word, magnificent. No, the magnificent is a word, but it almost sounds like a magnet that's, I don't know, the way you said it, you said it differently.
Yeah, I know I did because I do that. So your readers know this. And some of the readers or their listeners might know this because some people that are in the medical field will know this. I actually had an accident, a bicycle accident, and I hit my head when I fell off the bicycle accident. And that actually caused me to get a neurocognitive blip in my brain.
What does that mean exactly?
Okay, what it means is the information that gets processed in my brain is it's almost a little like dyslexia. It's a little bit like backwards, or it's like combination jumbly, it's like it's jumbly. It's like almost like, okay, if I say the word magnificent, see how I say it, magnificent?
Right.
So there's some kind of blip in the brain, from the brain to me communicating it, and I'm not saying the word correctly. It's not because I'm illiterate. It's because my brain does that.
Well, that's spectacular.
I know, it is spectacular. I feel like it's like a superpower.
It is. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. If you have something, you have to use it to your advantage, not an advantage for something bad, but something good or something creative.
Yes, exactly. And so it can be really fun because I make up words, and when I'm writing like writing things, and I'm thinking all of these things, and actually my thoughts are very, very fast. So I'm thinking at the end of the sentence, and as I'm typing, the end of the sentence comes out first before the beginning of the sentence. That's how my brain works. It like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a superpower. And
so you're an author. Are you an author of books, articles, publications? Tell us what you've done.
Okay, so I've done a lot of writing, especially the last 4.5 years, basically blogging. I'm a blog writer.
Oh.
And so I have a blog, and I do a lot of guidance with other people with their own ability to post when they do their posts on Facebook. So I help people with that whole setup of like, okay, let's try to be you when you're talking. Because I think a lot of times what happens online is people are afraid they're not good writers. And so they hold back. And so what I do is I show them my process of like how I do my writing. And they're always so like thankful that I do that, because it gives them permission to not be perfect.
Oh, very interesting.
You know, a lot of people feel like they can't write because they're not grammarians, or they, you know, they just think they have these limiting beliefs. Like, I can't be a writer if I don't write like so-and-so, like somebody maybe that a book that they have written, or an article that they, you know, have read. They just have this thing in their head. I can't be a writer. So I show them.
So they're basically comparing themselves to other people, and you're teaching them to be authentic and to accept themselves as they are and convey who they are.
Yes, exactly. Yes. You always know how to say everything so succinctly, Jojo.
Well, I like, thank you. I like to get to the point. Maybe sometimes I get to the point too quick, like, hurry, focus, you know.
No, I don't think that's true at all. I think what I find is you're very clear and you're very kind, and that's your mission. Your mission is to be clear. Your mission is to be kind. And when you're clear, you're communicating what you want to like share with the world. It's your kindness.
I love sharing.
Kind. You're being kind. You're very, very kind person.
Thank you. Thank you. So you talk about the goddess, the goddess within. Well, we all have a spark of God within us. Everybody does. Everyone has a spark of the divine, because let's face it, we come here to earth. We learn the lessons of life. I think we keep coming back until we get it right. But we have to find the godliness inside of us. When I hear about people doing good things, I say they've got it right. When I hear about people doing bad things, I say wasted energy. That's all it is wasted energy. So we have choices in life to get it right. So I don't know what being a goddess is, but if I have to put my finger on it, I would say it's being the very best you can be at every moment that you can be as good as you can be, without having ulterior motives with people, just being good to find the goddess within. Now, if women are goddesses, what are men?
That's a good question. They're gods, aren't they?
Maybe, but I'm asking you. So can you talk about the goddess and the god within men? The goddess in women, the god in men.
I would love to do that. So it's really about how you feel about yourself. It's self-love. Self-love, because if you don't love yourself, then who is going to love you? So that's really the first step with the goddess. I would say the goddess journey is self-love. And sometimes people feel like, oh, that's just so simple. You know, I love myself, but you'll be surprised when you start working with me as your guide. You are going to realize, wow, I guess I don't really love myself, because what we find, what we unfold are things that we're saying to ourselves, or things that we're doing to ourselves and maybe even to others, is not really very loving. It's actually, it's a little bit narcissistic in some ways, right? It's all about me and what me can receive. And you don't really know that you're even doing this. It's like a little disconnect. And we do this and it comes and it goes, because let's just face it, we all want to be loved. We all want everything to kind of be for us to feel loved, right? So it's okay for us to have this happening, but in a balanced way. And that's where you come back to the middle way. And that's where you start saying, okay, I've done these things for myself. How can I be more helpful for others? So
Beautiful.
that's
Beautiful.
really the key here in the goddess guide journey, is really about being aware of how you're contributing, your energy is contributing, or is it contaminating?
Ooh, I
Right
like
now,
that.
oh, thank you. Right now, people really need to be present with their thoughts and think their thoughts and really be quiet before they speak, because they might say something that could be hurtful, that could be not kind. That does not mean that you can't have an opinion and you can't disagree and that you're supposed to be all Pollyanny, like everything's wonderful, I love you, you love me. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being present with that person or with the situation and looking at a lens besides how it affects you, or even how it might affect somebody in your family. Because everybody has their own lens, everybody has their own experience in life. So I think it's really, really key ingredient for your goddess inner journey is to start thinking these thoughts. How can I be helpful? How can this experience be more fruitful? Things of that nature. And you asked me about goddess versus God. So for man, if there's a man audience here, I'm sure there is that a goddess is a goddess and a man is a conscious king. So he is very conscious, he's aware, and he's not oblivious to the old paradigm of communication, and allowing the goddesses to really take the reign and show them the way. Because we as goddesses, we are just more evolved than the goddess, than the conscious king. Okay, so that's really,
You're saying that goddesses are, you said we're more evolved? You said that, right?
yes.
Okay, you have to explain that. Dive in.
So the goddess is more evolved, and it's the way we as divine feminines have been birthed into the world. Okay, it's an energetic, mental, it's just a wiring of the feminine energy. And then there's the masculine energy, which we definitely also take in as well as women. So we've got the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Sometimes if we don't have that work-life balance, we're too masculine and the feminine just falls away. So if you bring the feminine energy and the masculine energy together, you have a cohesive strength and wisdom that's basically I'm trying to think of the word.
Unparalleled? Unparalleled?
Unparalleled, that's a good word. Yes, I like that. That's a good word. And so you are now in this energetic portal of masculine and feminine, and that's where you really raise that vibration so you can be that sexy, strong goddess, you get lots of things done, but also still be amazing in the bedroom.
So you're talking about a person that has a one person has the male energy and the female energy. You're not talking about two separate entities. You're talking about one person that has both.
Yes,
Got it.
exactly. Yes, exactly. So when we have both, that's where we're really in our Zen. And I think you do that. You have your masculine and you have your feminine.
There's absolutely no question there.
You have your
Yes.
lipstick, you have your lipstick on, you've got your pink shirt on right now, you're glowing, and I love your necklace.
Thank you.
And so you are taking all your feminine, yummy, gorgeous stuff, and you're being that strong woman with a voice, with a mission, and you can do it because you've combined both of those energies.
Absolutely. And I also think that there's another, they call it the right brain and the left brain, where you're creative, one of them is analytical, and you know, one of them's business, one of them's creative, and I definitely was born with both of them. I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini, but, and I know that some people are super creative, but they don't have the business aspect. Or some people are very business and they don't have the creative aspect. And you also are creative and business. You have two sides, which it's not a bad thing. It's actually, it's a good thing.
It's an excellent thing. That's the middle way. That's the balance. And you know, my brother used to always say to me when I was younger, and I never really understood what he meant by this, he would lean into me and he'd say, Michele, because he was a strong male figure in my life. He was the older brother, he was a Gemini. He would say, Michele, when you go on a date and you like the guy and he likes you, it's really simple. He calls you back and that's it. If he doesn't call you back, that means he doesn't want to see you again. It's really that simple. It's not complicated.
Right.
Because he had 3 sisters and he was the guy. And my brother actually didn't get married until he was 50.
Wow. Okay.
Actually, was it 50 or was it 40? I can't remember because I'm 60. I forget. But it's like, it was almost, he just like, he opened the door for me. Like he took a key and turned the knob and said, this is the way it works with dating. And, you know, I gave you the secret. You know, you don't have to do all this, like, you know, is he going to call me? You know, I thought he was going to call me. Well, he did look at me this certain way. He did say this. And I saw him up, you know, down at the street, you know, or at the store. No, you don't need to do any of that. You go out with him. He calls you. You go on another date. He calls you. That's it. It's really simple.
Oh my God. You know what? You should do a video with this. You know, this is all women need to know. He calls you back. That's it. If he doesn't, move on.
Exactly.
Next.
Exactly. Next. And think about all the hours of exhaustion, of contemplation, of what happened on the date. All that energy can go to something so much more important.
Absolutely.
In your life.
So people waste a lot of energy on this when it could be so simple.
Yes.
You know what? Your brother's a very wise man.
He's very wise. My brother, I think you should interview my brother. He is
okay. Let's do it.
Amazing. He's a Gemini, and he's had his own business for a very, very long time. And he has a wife, and he's got 2 kids. Actually, they're not kids anymore. One just is graduating from high school this year, and the other one already graduated from college a year and a half ago and has a full-time job. And my brother, he went to all of their games, even though he was, you know, an entrepreneur, and he was very busy, you know, because we're always busy, right? Making it happen, making the money come in so you can put your kids through college. So, but he was always there for his kids, and his kids really love the dad, and he's such a great guy. And he's a Gemini. Geminis are really very interesting human beings, I feel.
We definitely are.
Are you a Gemini?
I am. I'm gonna be
My God.
66 in 6 more days. No, 5 more days.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You and my brother totally would love each other.
Okay. Well, introduce me to him. I'll interview him. Let's do your interview first, and then he
Okay.
can weigh in on it.
Okay, that sounds good.
What I want to know, tell me about some of your clients that you've worked with, their successes. Give me some stories. You could share stories. You don't have to name names, but
Sure. Well, I would say my success stories with my clients are very eclectic because I have had such an eclectic life myself as a coach. So I would probably love to share one of the stories. Recently, one of my clients had sent me an email, and she said, because we do yoga together and I also massage her, we also do retreats together too, where we
nice.
take that space and go really deep and create the space and do the meditation and really go deep. And basically she was saying to me, I really, really miss our sessions, and I feel like, she basically said, I feel like one of my arms is missing, and I thought to myself, wow, that's quite a testimonial to say that you feel like one of your arms are missing and I'm the other arm. So,
well, you're an extension of her, so you add value to her world, her life.
yes, I do.
And that's what you do, is you give people a perspective and maybe an opportunity to see themselves in a different way or live a different way.
Yes, I do.
This is exciting. Okay, who is your perfect client? Who is your perfect person to, and I gather, are they laying on a table when they see you, or are they standing up? Do they sit down? Do they lie on a couch, in the corner of the room?
I would say my perfect client is not necessarily lying down or standing up. It's more about their energy of openness, being able to be curious and have the knowing that whatever it is they need to receive from me, they're going to receive it regardless of how much it's going to cost or how much time we spend together. They just know they are safe, that I am their guide. I am not their guru. I'm their guide. I'm their spirit angel.
When you say guide, is guide similar to a muse?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What is your motto or your quote?
Well, I have several.
Okay. Well, I'm here.
I would say the main one is accidents are opportunities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With every thing that's something that we perceive as bad, there's some silver lining in every, there's a silver lining in every opportunity.
Yes.
And we all have it, but maybe this is another secret of life. We all have that silver lining in every or what we consider disadvantages, are we going to be able to find it?
Mhm.
It's like the egg hunt. Are we going to be able to find it?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you help them to find the opportunity. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I do. And it's not because they don't know about what the opportunity is or could be. It's just a moment of disconnection because of the hustle, the bustle of life.
Right.
It brings us out of this inner knowing, this inner wisdom that we all have. And so I take your hand, however that is. I can't really take your hand virtually, but I can pretend to take your hand or hands and hold your energy through that divine masculine combination of allowing, of openness, of curiosity. And as I do this with you, you will receive the downloads, the transmissions, we call them.
Oh, I love
You
this.
can actually visualize, you'll actually visualize what it is. You might even end up after the session with me, or many sessions, it's just, you never know how many sessions it's going to take to have this happen, right? So we could do a session. It could be like 30 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And you will go to bed that night and you will have the dream, and that dream gives you your opportunity.
Or clarity. Or clarity of some sort.
Yeah, or clarity of an opportunity. Or like more like a little, like almost like a breadcrumb. Like, oh, why did I dream about that such and such? Or you could be driving in the car and then all of a sudden you might see like a billboard and it says something. You go, huh, Michele said that. She mentioned that. Or, oh, when she was guiding me, I remember such and such happened. So that's when you start being more aware. And this is an actual muscle that you practice over and over and over again, and it gets stronger and stronger.
So you're an angel teaching people how to flex their intuitive, their innate, whatever they have inside of them. You're teaching them how to flex that and be all that they can be.
Yes, I love that. That's exactly what I am. I think I'm going to have to hire you as my PR person.
Oh, I would love that. So if somebody has the monkeys of the mind, they have a random thought. I'm talking about myself. I have a loop that plays in my head. And while I was walking today, I said, I don't know why I have this loop. It serves no purpose. It does no good. And I need to get rid of it. How do I do that?
Okay. Do you want to do an experiment?
Yeah, sure.
Me right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's close our eyes.
Yeah.
And take a deep breath. And just hold that breath for 5 seconds. And exhale it out. And take another deep breath. And exhale it out. I want you to keep your eyes closed. And I'm going to have you pay attention to what this thought that's reoccurring needs to tell you about what exactly it is really saying to you. And as you're thinking about this thought, I want you to be curious and not have any judgment around that thought. And as you witness this thought as an observer, a watcher, you're not attaching to the outcome of this thought. And just breathe into that. And now I want you to feel with your breath any sensation in your body.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes, you can tell me.
There's a calm, and there's also, the inward. My heart is telling me, just let it go. You don't need this. Doesn't serve you. Doesn't serve you.
Okay.
And I feel it in my heart.
That's good. That's very good. So breathe into that. Breathe into that letting go. Breathe into thought process of not needing that. Keep breathing into that. And then I want you to hold your breath for about 6 or 7 counts. And I'm going to count. So I'm going to have you take a deep breath and hold that breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let it go. And now you're going to come back to the present moment, which is here with me. You're recording, you're witnessing your own inner knowing. And you're going to open your eyes gently, not abruptly, because the light can be very abruptive. And you'll slowly open the eyes and just allow whatever it is to unfold as you go throughout your day. You're going to just practice this practice of allowing and witnessing and observing.
Beautiful. Oh, that was so soothing. You are so gifted.
Thank you.
So gifted. Thank you so much for sharing that and doing that. That was fabulous. So, Michele, we're coming to a close in our interview. Tell us about what your mission, what you want to accomplish. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
I contemplate that quite often. Where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? And I think to myself, I really hope that we are in a world where spirituality is like a hospital. Like people are going,
I like that.
people are going to, you know, how they go to these medical centers and they go get their shots and their medicine. Will there be medical centers that are holistic, that are open and accessible to everybody, so everybody can afford it? Because right now, most people really can't afford holistic health. It's not covered under a lot of insurances. It's getting better. Chiropractors, some massage therapists can be covered, but mostly not. And what I really would love is to see a world where someone is being healed without medicine, and they're actually receiving the healing because they've been able to do it holistically and gently. So that's really my vision for the next 5-10 years. And I hope that I live to see it.
Yes, it'll be a world where people can go to a place and everyone will be able to plug into the Julian method.
Well, lots of Julian methods, right? It would be a franchise.
Okay, so you'll be teaching many people the Julian method. And how can people find you? They can find you Julian, Julian method, method.com.
Yes, they can definitely find me, julianmethod.com. I kept that actually URL because it's longer now. It gets transferred. It's really Julian. It's juliangoddesscoaching.com.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because what happens is it's so long that you want to keep it short, right? Keep it simple.
Right.
julianmethod.com. You can even just Google me, Julian Method. It will come up. I don't think there's any other Julian Method out there.
I don't think so. I think you are one of a kind in the entire world, and people can find you on Facebook. You're in all the social media platforms, so your presence is known. And finally, when you work with people, you don't have to see them one-to-one because you're in Watertown,
Yes.
Massachusetts, in the United States, on the East Coast. You can also meet people online, correct?
Yes, that's what I'm doing now. So 70% of my business was offline, but because of the pandemic, I have pivoted to online.
Beautiful. So people can meet you online. They can go to your website and they can find you there as well, correct?
Absolutely. If you go to my website, you can book a Goddess Empowered Tea-Chat for free for 30 minutes. And you'll get a 3-step process to help you tap into your own inner knowing.
Wow, folks, you heard this here. Michele Julian from the Julian Method. Thank you so much for joining us today for another edition of Somerville Connects and Dead Air Live. We'll see you soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much, Michele.
Thank you for having me on your show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Somerville connects. Somerville connects.